but we need to address the issue of race and how we deal with each individual as opposed to dealing with individuals based on their race anyway. So did this bring this to the light so we can have some discussion about it? I think it did.
Do you believe that it furthered the stereotype in West Virginia?
My family is from West Virginia, so I don't know what that stereotype is. So I would take some exception to that. I think there's all types of people in West Virginia, just like Columbus, Ohio, and the state of Ohio.
What is she doing now? What is her life like? What is she doing now?
She's living with a lady, thank God, took her in, and it has been a blessing to her. I believe if she hadn't intervened and stepped in, that she would not even be here today.
Byron, as an attorney, do you find it odd that 6 people very serious charges based on a story of one woman?
That's what I was trying to understand, because I don't know what the facts of the court proceeding have, how did it happen, and what made these people enter guilty pleas to something that they were denying, and then all of a sudden enter a guilty plea. I don't know who their representation was or what was going on with this, what convinced them. If they knew that they didn't do this, why would they enter guilty pleas to this? Were they intimidated? Did they have such bad prior records that would make them do something of this nature? What made them do that? I agree with you. That is a question. That was the first question in my mind. Why did this happen? Why did they plead to this? And what she has told me, the prosecution told her that she did not make a good witness. They would kill her on the witness stand. And why would she want to go forward with that? That's what they told her. So that probably influenced them to give them some type of workable plea bargain. I don't know. I was not involved in that. But I do substantial criminal work, and there are some times where people enter pleas to avoid consequences of trial. It's called a Alford plea. But I don't know if they did that in this case.
How did you get involved in this case?
I was contacted by Megan Williams and the lady that's taking care of him, and Mr. Mike Jones here, that is helping her try to turn her life back around.
You said we can speak to her caregiver?
Yes, you can. What's going to happen, they received all these threats in the last, from the time that we called this press conference and the time that these articles came out and the news came out, she has received numerous telephone calls, probably 2 or 3 calls threatening her life. And she's concerned about showing her face, and the caregiver who she's living with now is concerned also.
And that was after the news conference was called?
Mm-hmm.
Why did she move to Columbus?
To get away from that situation there. And they,
Somebody here?
I don't know if she knew. What happened was the lady that she's living with and caring for her now was going there at the rallies and stuff, and they formed a kinship. They got along, and then she decided to move her here.
If she knew it was all...
And her sister.
She knew it was a lie the whole time. Why, even after the plea bargains, they had rallies and they, had a lot of issues with the prosecutor making a plea? They thought that all the attackers should have gotten more time. Why did she...
Well, what I do think is there were some other people that were influencing her. This is a lady that was 18, 19 years old at the time this happened. And she was very impressionable. And they were trying to... I think they were manipulating her because really she never received any of those donations that her family used the money. So I think that there were people that were influencing her to continue with this lie.
Byron, does she have a desire to have those 6 or 7 individuals cleared of their names?
Yes.
Or is this a
Yes.
publicity stunt?
A publicity stunt, I would be no part of a publicity stunt. However, I love publicity. But I would be no part of a publicity stunt.
How did she put the stab on her? What did she use? What was it?
She said a straight razor or something of that nature.
stab wounds or just cut?
Stab wound, she said, but then I asked her how she did it. I asked that same question, and she said with like a straight razor. So I don't know if she knows what a straight razor is, because I don't know how you could stab yourself with a straight razor. You'd have to slice it. So
Have police been contacted about these threats?
I have not contacted. I think the person that is taking care of her has contacted the police,
The Columbus
and
police?
we have advised her that she needs to request special attention on this, letting them know about the threats that have been made, and asking for police officers and cruisers to come around where they live and where they're staying.
She has done that, you said? Or
I just advised her to do that today as a result of that. So I don't think she's asked for the extra assistance to be watched and monitored about what's
you
going
said
on.
about the threats themselves, the authorities have been contacted about that, or?
I think they have been.
Byron,
I didn't contact him myself, but I think they have been.
from your perspective, again, from a legal perspective, would you have any concern about putting her on the stand as a witness if you were involved in a case?
Putting her on the stand, anytime you have a person that has recanted a story, their credibility is challenged. So you would always be concerned about using that person as a witness. The short answer is yes. I would be concerned about that.
If she was lying then, how are we supposed to know that she's not lying now?
What's the incentive about her to lie about this now? How does she benefit from this?
The former prosecutor says that she's wanting another 15 minutes of fame. That was
15
his
minutes of
quote.
fame. That's why she's out here singing and dancing in front of the cameras. She wants that fame. I don't think she does. I think she's scared, and I think she wants to get this story out so she could move on with her life. Could you imagine living a lie and living with this and knowing that people are incarcerated for, some were over 10 years or so? Could you imagine how that would make you feel on a day-to-day basis? You know, you can't continue to function properly. I wouldn't be able to. Who wants anybody to go to jail if they haven't done anything wrong?
Chance that she'll change her mind and want to talk at some point?
There could be. Now, here's where we're going to get some evaluations done of her to see what's going on with her psychologically. Because, like I told you, that I'm a juris doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. So I think we should get some evaluations done. And if they come out to show that there's some issues, then we're going to address those. If they don't, then she says at the right time in the right place, she will be willing to come forward. I think what scared her is these calls that happen all of a sudden, just came, and then she just saw these cameras and freaked out. And, we had to make her come back because she left out the back, and then she came back in. So it was a concern. Yeah, like Mr. Jones said, the biggest issue is that they need to address these people that are incarcerated, and they need to get out. They don't need to be in jail for something that they did not do. That's the concern. That's the only reason really that I got involved in this. One, that because I knew the individual that called me, and Mr. Jones said that they needed help, and that we have anybody that is in jail for this. And I did. Now, let me put this on the record, that I talked to the National Action Network, Al Sharpton's company, Al Sharpton's agency, and they immediately said, go public. They had because they were behind her with this, and they had no knowledge whatsoever about anything going on with this. And they said, if she lied and fabricated this, go public with it. And to let them know that they have no involvement nor knowledge, nor they relied on the investigation of the prosecution in the state of West Virginia.